What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, I want to give you guys a quick market update as I'm unable to go live today. It is Mrs. Candle's birthday. I promised her I would spend the night with her. And Bitcoin's not really doing anything too exciting, but I do want to break down some key levels. I don't want to leave the Candle Mafia stranded with no content. So we're going to drop this quick market update. I'm going to let you guys know the levels I'm looking at. We'll take a look at the indicators and what the likely next move is going to be, because as you guys know, we have been kind of lingering around a very key level of support, and we do have liquidity above leading into a very key level of resistance. Are we going to see that pop up to around $70,000 and potentially beyond, or are we going to see a little bit of a continued pullback? I'm going to break it all down in today's video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Let's get into it. So guys, as you know, on last night's live stream, we were looking at this key level of support, which is that point of control of our macro range. Yes, the range that we've been sitting in for about 7 months here, and we have held that value area low as support, giving us that journey up to our POC, and now we are potentially looking to flip this POC to support. Now, if you guys watched the live stream last night, you guys will know that we were looking at some very specific signals on Market Cypher, looking for those bearish divergences, which are somewhat exaggerated here, guys. And by exaggerated, I just mean they are equal highs on our oscillator, not necessarily lower highs, which is typically what you want to see for those bearish divergences. But technically, that is still a divergence here by the book. So we had to keep it into account. And obviously, we were looking for that little bit of a pullback as we got that little push up yesterday. We did take the short here in the premium Discord with the Candle Mafia, and we did get a little bit of a move down here. And that short is currently in profit here, guys. However, it is not too far away from the entry, as this was not that big of a move down. Nothing too intense has really happened here. So I am still just looking at the same key levels of support, being that POC at $67,000. If we are able to finally break down out of this and get stuck underneath here, we could get a little bit more of a pullback. And I'm going to talk about those key levels that I'm looking at if we do get that continuation down, where I will be looking for a bounce. This is the key level, guys. $67,036 here is the level I have with that macro POC. We lose this level, can't get back above. That's where I'm looking down to those lower levels. If we are able to hold on to support here at that POC, guys, remember the POC does typically act as a magnet for price. Oftentimes when you do kind of get around that POC, you will see it kind of act as a magnet. You know, you'll lose it, you'll get back above it, you lose it, you get back above it, and then eventually you lose it, and then you get the bigger move down. This is kind of a similar area of price action that I'm looking at. It's a very similar situation where we kind of got above that value area low, and then we got a move up into that POC, kind of bing-bonged around here a little bit, but then we did eventually get that bigger pullback before putting in a higher low and continuing up to the value area high. And we looked at this on last night's live stream, but this is a very similar situation that we could see play out here. Maybe we kind of bing-bong around that POC for a little bit, finally lose it, and then get that higher low to get that push up to that value area high. I would really like to see a little bit more of a pullback here so I can load up on some fresh longs. So it is not impossible to get a push up here. As a matter of fact, I want to take a look at Market Cypher B because there are some things potentially looking for one last push to the upside. And guys, if we do wind up losing this POC, I will say we do have money flow coming out here on the 2-hour as well as that 1 hour. And last night on the live stream, you guys know that we were looking at that 16-hour red dot and that 12-hour red dot with the 45-minute and 1 hour money flow looking to cross over into the red, which sometimes gives you that bigger move down. Now, although we did not really see that bigger move down just yet, you can see got that 45-minute money flow crossover. We kind of just bing bong around here a little bit, but money flow is still technically trending to the downside here, even on the 2-hour. Taking a look at the 3-hour, a little bit more neutral. And when we get to these medium hourly time frames, guys, I'm not going to lie, it actually does look like we could potentially get that push up for two very specific reasons. Number one, if you look at the 3-hour and the 4-hour here, I mean, even the 2-hour, other than the money flow looking a little bit bearish, the way these momentum waves are formed here, guys, if we get that 3-hour, 4-hour green dot, we could potentially get that momentum wave to come up here to potentially print a bearish divergence. Now, although a bearish divergence is a bearish signal, guys, in order to print that bear div, we actually do have to have a higher high on price. So by front running this potential bearish divergence printing, we may be able to predict if price is going to launch out of here, take that liquidity that we know we have sitting above this high. You guys can see here above that wick, we do have some form of liquidity sitting up there. Now, where does this liquidity lead to? Well, coincidentally, it does lead right into about $70,000. Now, do we have a specific key level there? Well, we actually do, right? We have that daily naked point of control, weekly naked point of control, as well as the value area high of our range, which is going to be that next target to the upside anyway. So the real question is, are we going to get that green dot? Go ahead, put that higher high in on price, and then print that bearish divergence for maybe a little bit of a cool off, or are we just going to lose that POC and continue to the downside? And very simply put, guys, I am still holding my long from 59K, as you all know. I am also holding some longs from lower, and I am obviously also in the short position that we took in the premium Discord from up here. So that short is a little bit in profit, and you guys can see those trades here on Femex. This is still the long down from about $58,000, and then this is the new short that I just opened, which is up about $300. Again, this really hasn't played out too much, as we are still basically at the entry here, so I consider this pretty much break even, but we are up about $300, not a bad start, with a 12% gain. Now, again, I am in that long, and I am also holding my long position still on Blowfin here, up about $1,800. I've been holding this for the past couple of days in case we do get that next little push to the upside. So I am covered here on the longs and the shorts, guys. Pretty much the way I'm handling this is I am just simply waiting. As we saw those bearish confirmations on yesterday's live stream, that is what made us look for the short position. That is now in profit. Again, I am going to be treating these shorts with care. I am going to be treating them as scalps until proven otherwise. If it turns out to be a bigger drop to the downside, I'm going to let that take me by surprise. And then if we do wind up getting stopped out, I'll take a small loss on the short, and we will likely come up to that value area high, sitting between about 60,600 and 70,200, where we know we have that liquidity above. If we get that push to the upside, I'll lose a little bit on that short, but those longs will continue to pay me out. So again, you know, we are taking the trades here that we look at, guys. We saw those bearish confirmations. We took the trade that is now in profit, but again, I'm not even going to move my stop loss at this point. I will take a very tiny loss if we pump. But again, you know, on Market Cypher B, guys, these momentum waves don't look unlikely to print that bearish divergence. So I am somewhat neutral here. 2 and 3 hour time frames as far as momentum waves looks like we could potentially get that bear div, which would call for the move to 70K. But again, I am just going to hold that short. I'm sticking to the plan. If we get stopped out, no big deal. Well, now we know the target to the upside. Obviously, that didn't really change. But if we get the move to the downside, where am I going to be looking for price to go, guys? Very simply put, if you tuned into the live stream last night, you will know exactly the levels I'm looking at. It is coming down here where our golden pocket retracement is sitting at about $64,400. And if we pull up our local range, you can see that is also confluent with our value area low. So in my opinion, this is the context that I am looking at the market in right now. We went from the low to the POC up to the value area high. And then as we reject this value area high, although it was front run slightly, again, if we lose these POCs, I'll just simply be looking for that to kind of play out in full down to the value area low at 64.5. If we deviate below this value area low, I will say you could be in the danger zone of coming into the 63.1, 63.2 range, where we have that 786 Fibonacci retracement, as well as the POC of the range. And then if we get stuck under that POC, guys, that is really where I would expect a little bit more of a move to the downside. But until we start breaking that POC down here, I'm not worried. I'm going to be treating these as scalps, taking the profit, looking for the higher lows to potentially come up to that macro value area high at $70,000 with the confluence here with these naked points of controls. And then maybe we can get that bigger move to the upside. But again, not much has happened since last night's live stream, just looking at this local range and then also looking at the overall longer term context, which is in the grand scheme of this larger range. And remember, guys, with that lower support, not only do we have the POC, the 786, we also have our anchored VWAP from the top of this macro range, which comes in at that level as well. This was a key level to break to the upside, and now if we do break back down, it could be a key level to retest before putting in a higher low and continuing up. So guys, I'm pretty much just sticking to the plan, treating these shorts that we were looking at yesterday on the live stream and in the premium Discord as a scalp position with the possibility of coming down to put in a higher low, because don't forget, if we pull up Lux Algo, you guys know that we have that bullish change of character here on the daily, which would likely call for a continuation up. You get the bullish change of character, you come down, higher low. The next thing you look for is the break of structure. We look for that, we got it. But if we get another pullback, I will be looking at it as a lackluster pullback, again, into those key levels of support to put in a hopeful another higher low on one of these levels to then potentially get that bigger break into the value area high if we don't just yeet up there right now. So again, guys, I'm pretty neutral right now. There's an argument to come up from here. There's also an argument to come down for that little cool off. But those are the two scenarios that I'm looking at and exactly how I'm handling the trades, showing you guys I'm in these positions. I have those stop losses set, just waiting for the short to get stopped out and let the longs print, or just waiting for price to come down so that short can finally start paying us out. And guys, don't forget, today is the last day to sign up with our Blowfin account for a chance to get a 15% cashback bonus in the form of bonus funds deposited into your account. There are limited spots here. I don't know how many are left, but you will at least get access into our dining room, where you will get one premium TA post per week, where we did have that long setup from 59K, which is now in massive profit. So with all that being said, guys, that's all the time I got for today's market update. Again, not really too much happening. If you guys saw the stream last night, pretty much in the same spot, except we are now in that short with the stop losses set. Let's see what happens here. I'll check back in with you guys on tomorrow's live stream at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if price does something crazy, maybe I'll drop a market update. But with all that being said, that's all the time I got for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Smash that like button. Frankie Candles out.
Here we go. At the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide.